Hey everyone, and welcome back to the 9 Frames Podcast. It is episode 73, and it is Monday, January 29th, 2024. I am Bill Whalen.
And I'm Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us on there, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, there wasn't much news for a Friday episode, so we decided to just give it the weekend, and now we have a bunch of news to report for this Monday episode.
Yeah, more than worth the wait, because the teams got active over that weekend, and we gave them time, and they definitely made it worth.
Yeah, we'll jump right on into it right now.
And we will get straight into the MLB news, and there are a lot of signings that took place over the weekend, and the first of which we will talk about is one of these deals that seems to be becoming more and more common now in the MLB, where teams are really taking a flyer on somebody who has 0 games of MLB experience.
Yeah, the Tigers are going to be giving their one of their top prospects, middle infielder Colt Keith. He's their number 2 prospect according to MLB Pipeline, and the 25th overall. They're going to be giving him a 6-year contract that guarantees him $28.7 million with $2 million signing bonus.
That is a lot of money for a 22-year-old who has not sniffed MLB field yet. Pretty wild, man.
And the thing is, I feel like it's going to put a lot of unnecessary pressure now because he's being paid more than a lot of guys on the team. Mm-hmm. Basically, everyone, you'd think. I mean, they don't have a lot of guys on the payroll at all anymore in Detroit.
Yeah, Baez probably.
Yeah,
there's
Rodriguez is gone. Mm-hmm. I mean, who else is even on the payroll that's making a bunch of money?
Yeah, this is a team that has 7 straight losing record seasons, and I guess this is a guy that they think they're gonna base their franchise around for a long time, because this deal includes 3 team options that can make it worth $64 million over 9 season, and there are a bunch of incentives in it that it could be a 9-year, $82 million deal for this kid.
That could end up being a real steal for the Tigers if he ends up being the guy that they think he is, and I mean, who MLB Pipeline thinks he is. He's a top 25 prospect, so they got to see something.
Yeah, these deals have worked great for teams like the Braves, but then you look over at the Scott Kingerys and the Evan Whites, and they have not really panned out to the same extent. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this kid. Last year, he lit the world on fire. He hit .325 with 14 bombs and 50 RBI in 59 games in AA. They promoted him up to AAA in Toledo on June 26, and he batted .287, 13 homers, 51 RBIs in 67 games. So pretty consistent, even though the competition was supposed to be getting tougher.
Yeah, that's a solid season. It definitely is difficult to go from AA to AAA and to maintain numbers like that. The 325 to 287 batting average drop-off is, you'll take 287. 325 was crazy in AA, but yeah, the Tigers liked what they saw, and they're going to be giving him a big deal before he even makes his debut, kind of like Jackson Chourio back in Milwaukee.
Very true, just this same offseason. So those are 2 guys that will be starting the season for their teams, and that will be their debut.
Yeah, I saw that Colt Keith is fixing in to be their opening day second baseman.
Yeah, so that seems to be the position he's most proficient. So
he's going to be playing up the middle with Javi Baez.
It should be fun defensively. I'm not too familiar with his defense, but it looks like the bat is all there.
Yep, for sure.
Speaking of bats, man, we will move it on over to Arizona, the National League champions, as they have been super active this offseason. They signed Jock Peterson to a 1-year, $9.5 million deal with a mutual option for 2025.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a down year in terms of average, but you'll take that because he gave them 15 home runs and 51 RBI. You'd like to see the RBI jump a little bit. It probably will in this Diamondbacks lineup, and you gotta love the defending National League champs going out and just improving a lineup that was already carrying them in the postseason.
Yeah, last year San Francisco did not really let Jock Peterson see a lot of lefties, which I think Arizona will do. I think he's right now kind of fit to be the DH every day for them. It seems like this is a guy who usually hits 230 to 250, I would say, has 20 to 25 homers, but since he didn't face any lefties last year, only 38 games against lefties, he did have his homers and RBI numbers go down there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they use him in a platoon role again or if they just give him the reins in left field or wherever, DH. I think he can play a little bit of first as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jock Peterson. I think that it's a really good signing, to be honest with you. It's a 1 year, $9.5 million deal. There's no there's a mutual option, obviously, but it's still 2 years maximum. He's shown that he can be good. He stays in the NL West. That's the only division he's. Oh wait, no, he played for the Cubs, right? Or am I?
No,
he didn't.
For the Cubs. No,
Maybe that was on MLB The Show.
Yeah,
or something.
you're right. Dodger and Giant.
Yeah, so he's only been in the NL West, and he's going to continue the tour by joining the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, this is he's a guy who has proven that he can perform on the big stage. He's a 2-time World Series champion. A lot of people forget that about him. He is a guy that they want around because they just fell short of winning that World Series this year, and now they add a lot of experience. They've also signed left-hander Eduardo Rodriguez and re-signed outfielder Lourdes Gurriel Jr., as well as acquiring third baseman Eugenio Suarez this offseason in a trade with the Mariners. That's a pretty good offseason right there for the National League champions.
Definitely.
Moving on over to a relief arm here, one that we really wanted to see in Mets pinstripes. Me personally, maybe I'm not going to speak for you, but it sounded like you did. Right-handed reliever Hector Neris and the Chicago Cubs are in agreement on a 1-year, $9 million contract that includes an option for 2025. Source familiar with the deal says.
Yeah, I would have loved if the Mets would have given Hector Neris this deal. I mean, I understand that there are conditions in the contract where the $9 million team option converts to a player option if he hits 60 games appeared in this year, with total max incentives going all the way up to $23.25 million. I still think I would have given Neris this deal if I was the Mets because they need a dominant right-hander to go in that pen along with Diaz and Raley. And now we'll get into it a little bit later, but Ottavino will be back with the Mets. So, yeah, I think he would have been a nice piece, and I think it is a great deal for the Cubs. He was great last year. He had a 1.71 ERA, and he was on a team that was in the ALCS again.
Yeah, not for nothing, like you said, that player option, or I guess right now it is a team option that would turn into a player option at 60 games. Pitched in 71 games this year, so...
Yeah, so he cleared it easily.
Yeah, pretty decent chance at doing that, and to have a 1.71 ERA in that many games, man, this guy's a workhorse. He's a guy I really wanted on the Mets. It's a little disappointing that they didn't do this, because 2 years, $18 million with a team option on that, or even it being already a player option on the second year, I would have been happy with that deal alone.
Yeah, he was probably still the best remaining free agent reliever, so now he's off the market, and I definitely would have paid him that same contract as well.
Yeah, agreed, but he will be going to the Chicago Cubs, and he seems like he's going to step into a pretty prominent role there.
As you'd expect, yeah, after the season he just had.
Talking about another top reliever, this is the only other guy you could really argue was better, I wouldn't say, but no, because of that second half of the season.
Yeah, he was horrible for the Marlins.
He gets paid more. Right-handed reliever here, David Robertson, and the Texas Rangers, the World Series champions, are in agreement on a 1-year contract in the $11 to $12 million range.
I think they might have overpaid him a little bit just based on his second half. He was great in the first half because of the way that Buck Showalter was using him. And then he got traded to Miami, and he was the closer. He lost the closer's role to Tanner Scott.
Right.
It wasn't good in Miami. So for him to get more money than Hector Neris, who's coming off a 1.71 ERA in 71 games, is pretty crazy.
Might be because of the fact that this is a straightforward 1-year deal, and it doesn't seem like there's any incentives from what I've seen.
And he's also more of a veteran that's been in the postseason more. Maybe not, honestly, at this point. Neris feels like he's been there every single year for the past 5 years, between the Phillies and the Astros. And then, Robertson has plenty of experience is the thing. So.
Oh, yeah, 175 career saves and a 2.90 career ERA. This has been a guy who's been solid for a long career. Like you said, great first half of the season with the Mets last year. Had a 2.05 ERA and 44 innings pitched. But a change of trend was definitely coming when he was traded to Miami. He went 5.06 in 21 and a third innings pitched, and we saw him completely pulled out of that eighth inning role for them.
Yeah, so I wonder what the Rangers are going to do with him, where they're going to place him in that bullpen.
Yeah, it's a bullpen that had no certainty last year.
They lost Chapman.
Their leader in saves was Leclerc, who I believe was in the 20s.
Yeah, they lost Chapman. They lost Will Smith. They're going to have to piece it together again, so maybe Robertson steps into that ninth inning role again.
Yeah, it'll probably be between him and Leclerc as of right now, but it'll be interesting to see how the World Series champions pivot, as they have lost a couple bullpen pieces, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They do bring a guy back here, the Texas Rangers do. They bring in Travis Jankowski again. He will be coming back. This guy was a big part of their run here. 1 year, $1.7 million deal, which I love for both sides here. Includes an unspecified performance bonus. I'm guessing it probably gets up to like 2.5, maybe 3, if he has some really good numbers. He played 107 games last year for Texas, and he slashed 263, 357, and 332 with a 12.2% walk rate and a 14.6% strikeout rate. Pretty solid numbers.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you see they're the defending World Series champs, and he was a member of the team. You need guys like this on your roster.
Yeah.
You go through the course of a season with injuries and just honestly just needing depth in general. Yeah, I like this deal for both sides. It's a 1-year deal for less than $2 million. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, Jankowski connected on only 1 homer last year. That is not what he's on the team for. He went 19 for 20 and stole bases and provided the Rangers with above-average defense in all 3 outfield positions. He's probably going to do the same thing again, as he is a key backup in that deep Texas roster.
That's all you can hope for.
And we will stay in the AL West. Not really a team I thought I'd be talking about too much this offseason, but the Oakland Athletics have made a move here. Alex Wood is headed to the A's. This deal came out a couple days ago. I actually find this quite odd. I can't find any details about the money or length of the deal.
It's probably a 1 or 2 year deal with an option or something. Yeah, the A's really aren't going to compete next year, so maybe Alex Wood is just going there to hope he can show out. So you'd assume it's a short-term deal.
Yeah, this is a win-win for both of them. This will be the A's last year in the Bay, and as we know, Alex Wood was a San Francisco Giant, so he won't have to move too far. Not for nothing, the A's really needed stability here in the rotation. They tied the MLB record with 24 different starting pitchers last year.
Yeah, so hopefully Wood will bring them a little bit of stability to that rotation in 2024. They desperately need it. I mean, I like Alex Wood too. He's a decent lefty. I mean, he's had a good long career so far. It's a nice move for the A's.
Yeah, it seems like as of right now they have 3 spots really set in stone, which is not something they could say last year. For most of the year, they have Alex Wood here, Paul Blackburn, and J.P. Sears going into next year.
Yeah, you got to start building somewhere. I mean, doesn't hurt to sign guys like this, take a flyer on him, because then, if it works out that he's really, really good, you could flip him. You could trade him to a contender that needs a starter.
Yeah, we've seen teams like the Pirates and Kansas City making moves like that as well, so I wouldn't be shocked if this is that kind of deal.
It really is the smart way to go about it when you're a rebuilding small market team. It's really smart.
26 starts for San Francisco in 2021. That's how he bagged his contract for them, pitching to a 3.83 ERA and 138 2/3. They gave him 2 years, $25 million, and with that, he was not great. He had a 5.10 in 2022 and 26 starts, and they moved him to a spot starter / bulk relief last year, and he had a 4.33 and 97 2/3 innings pitched. But he will add stability here and look to get back on track, as he is firmly in a starting pitching role again.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see him back in the starting rotation, and hopefully he has better fortune than he's had the last couple years when he was starting.
Yeah, I mean, if the A's are getting 2021 here, Alex Wood, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, you'll absolutely take it.
Our next one here, as we mentioned earlier on the episode here, and I don't want to sound disappointed here, but I am when we have read off 2 names that I would rather have in my bullpen than this name. But Adam Ottavino here will be returning to the New York Mets, 1 year, $4.5 million deal. He's coming off a 1-7 year with a 3.21 ERA, which is still solid, and 62 Ks in 61 2/3 innings pitched.
Yeah, maybe this will be the same situation. If the Mets don't compete this year, they can flip him. They can get rid of him. It's a 1-year deal. I think Ottavino's biggest problem, and I hope to God he worked on it this offseason, is holding runners, because he just cannot do it. He's never been able to do it, and guys were running all over him last year. Guys that weren't even particularly fast were taking bags on him. So,
well, that's the thing with the new rule changes last year and the bigger bases. This is why I'm disappointed, because when you look at Adam Ottavino as a career pitcher, well, he's just looking phenomenal. But when you look at last year and you watch the Mets every night as I did, yeah, I mean, a lot of guys were running on him, and it's the reason that he racked up 7 losses in the year, which was a career high for him by 2.
Yeah, he needs to figure out how to change his delivery to speed it up a little bit so that guys don't run wild on him in 24.
Yeah, being unable to throw over more than 2 times and those big bases, I mean, it's pretty much impossible for Ottavino to stop a guy from running on him, and that's what it was last year.
Hopefully he benefits from Diaz being back. I mean, he I don't know. $4.5 million is not like a lot of money, and he has, I mean, a 3.21 still last year is very, very solid, even having 7 losses. So
I don't mean to sound like a hater, but I happily double that contract to get Hector Neris on my team instead.
You're not a hater for that. I mean, that just sounds logical. I would have done it as well, but we didn't. So I guess we'll take what we got. I mean, a 3.21 is nothing to scoff at. So
no, definitely not.
Hopefully he can control the running game a little bit better and not take so many losses for us this year.
Hope so. Moving it on over to another deal that is reminiscent to the Alex Wood deal. This is Adam Frazier going to the Kansas City Royals. Last year he played on the American League East champion Orioles, so now he's going on over to a rebuilding team. That's a 1-year, $2 million contract with an $8.5 million mutual option for 2025. So he's really betting on himself here.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen Adam Frazier be a great contact guy for multiple teams now. He's become a journeyman, which is pretty crazy with how solid he was in the beginning of his career average-wise. With the Pirates. He goes to the Padres, Mariners, Royals. I mean, he's bounced around now, so like you said, he's betting on himself. I like it. I don't got a problem with it. I mean, the 1 year, $2 million is another thing. They could flip him if it doesn't work. It's the Royals again. They've been doing it. They just did it last offseason with Chapman.
Yeah,
or not offseason, last season with Chapman.
It is the type of contract that a competitive team would be really happy to pick up, considering it's a 1 year, $2 million. That's not a lot on the payroll, and then they have the option to pick up that 8.5 after that.
Yeah, they'll have a say regardless with it being a mutual option. So it's a very team friendly deal. So there will be people calling for Adam Frazier if and most likely inevitably when the Royals are not competing this year.
Yeah, Frazier last year with the Orioles hit 240, 300, and 396 on the slugging with 21 doubles and a career-high 13 home runs. So he showed off power a little bit more, but that average was down nearly 30 points from his career average of a 269.
Yeah, and he can play multiple positions too, so... And he's pretty. I think he's above average defensively, I would say.
Really solid second baseman. And then in the corner outfield positions, he's a great fill-in. It's not going to be phenomenal defense in the outfield, but he will fill in when you need him to, and that's what Kansas City will look to utilize.
Another deal I've got no problem with from both sides.
Speaking of deals that I have no problem with on both sides, this one is the Cleveland Guardians bringing Cookie Carrasco back on a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. If he makes the big league club, his base salary will be $2 million.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a hater here, but I'm just happy he won't be wearing a Mets uniform next year because he was horrendous.
Yeah, this is a guy who's fun to root for, but he,
great story.
For the last couple of years, has been really, really struggling on the mound. That's not really what this deal is about. He pitched 11 years for this franchise. So,
yeah, it's a reunion.
And this probably is the end of the road for him, I would think, right?
Yeah, he's getting up there. I think he's going to be 35 this year, so...
Might have a little bit more in him, but I guess
not if he keeps pitching the way he was the last 2 to 2.5 years. I mean, his trouble really is that first inning. He hits a wall in the first inning, and it puts his team behind. He gives up runs, and then he just kind of settles in a little bit for a couple innings, and he looks like his old self, and then he'll just kind of implode again. It's weird. I mean, he showed flashes where he looked really, really good in a Mets uniform, but then there was just times where he was like unwatchably bad.
Yeah, very true. I would love nothing more than for him to find his groove again in a Cleveland uniform. He, like I said, pitched 11 years for them, and he went 88-73 with a 3.77 ERA in 242 games. That's 195 starts with Cleveland from 2009 to 2020.
And the man did beat cancer, so who's to say he can't bounce back on the mound as well?
Oh, he most definitely can, and I honestly hope he does because I think the Guardians could use it as well. They could use the help.
Absolutely. I mean, they could use all the help they could get.
And we'll stick in the same division here as Byron Buxton comes out publicly. I don't know if you saw the quote, but he said he is fully back to being a center fielder in 2024. How do we feel about it?
I feel like as long as he can stay healthy, that's cool, but if you can't go out there and go get it like you used to because of injuries, I mean, what's the harm in being a part-time DH, part-time center fielder?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw this, I'm not feeling great about it because he's going on this would be like his 4th year being hurt in a row.
3 or 4, yeah.
So I mean,
did he say he's in center field, or did the team say it?
No, he said I'm back, baby. Something along the line of that. So I'm guessing. Mean, there's got to be a reason he said it. Right?
We'll see how he performs out there, and then we'll see what Baldelli and the Twins end up doing with him if he can't do it.
He's had a lot of problems with his legs in recent years, and this is notably, obviously, the position that's going to give the most mileage on those legs.
Definitely. So,
I mean, I wish him the best, and he is so electric when he's out there, so I hope he is, because this is a guy that's one of the fastest in the league when his legs are working fine.
I think when he's fully healthy, he's one of the best players in baseball, to be honest with you. He's a 5-tool player.
That's why it's been tough to see him dealing with injuries for the last couple of years and not really getting the credit he deserves because he's not putting in full seasons.
Yeah, so hopefully he really is back and can look like his former self when he looked like a top player in the league.
Yeah, the last couple of points that we're going to talk about here on the episode, a couple new jerseys have been announced. First, we will talk about the Washington Nationals, and then we will talk about the Miami Marlins. You guys can look into this as you want to as well. I'm sure you've seen them. The new Nationals jerseys, man, I want your opinion on that because I got pretty strong ones.
Hate them. I think they're terrible.
Yeah.
I know they tried to put like little blurbs saying what every part of it was for. I don't care, man. They look like shit.
Yeah, minor league-esque in my opinion.
Block letters, just normal.
Generic.
It looks like the Great Britain jerseys from the fucking World Baseball Classic that just looked like they printed them at a random T-shirt shop 3 hours before the game.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie to you. Above all else, this would really disappoint me as a Nationals fan because with every single player that won you your World Series being off the roster and your jersey's looking like this now, you feel far away from that, don't you?
It's a completely different era now.
Yeah.
New team, new look, new everything. It's weird how quickly they went that way.
That's what I'm saying. They do. I mean,
2019.
You go back 5 World Series champions. You got to say the Washington Nationals, and quite literally, if you look up highlights now from that season and this upcoming season, after they make some highlights, however many there will be this season, they won't look the same at all.
No, it's going to look very different. Not
even the logo, really. Do they even use the curly W anymore, or do they permanently use that weird block W on the Capitol building now?
I'd have to look at it again, but I don't remember seeing the curly W a lot. I know on their home ones it's the W,
which is absolutely. I mean,
it's the worst logo.
I'm not the biggest Nationals fan. That's an iconic logo, the curly W. Are they getting away from that?
Even? I mean, their announcers call at the end of the game is raise the curly W.
And we're making a weird
raise the block letter in front of the Capitol building W. That's what he's going to say every single time?
Not a fan of it. If you are a Nationals fan, honestly,
I'm sorry.
I'd love to hear your opinion. I don't know how sorry I am. You got a World Series pretty recently.
It's not, but who knows how long it's going to be for the next one with the way that they're going.
Very true, but let us know what you think about the jerseys if you are. Honestly, if you're not a fan, let us know what you think about these jerseys as well.
Yeah, I'm absolutely not a fan of them. The jerseys that I am a fan of, or the next one I will talk about, are the Miami Marlins, where they revealed 2 new jerseys, alternate jerseys, for the 2024 season. They changed their black jerseys from having black lettering. They changed it to white lettering. Perfect. I don't even know why they were black lettering. Why would you do black on black in the first place? It doesn't make any sense.
Love this move as well. That was a big complaint from even commentators. They were saying they were having problems seeing the numbers and everything on the field because it's pretty far away, man.
It just didn't make any sense.
Black on black. It was ambitious. I don't hate that they tried it, but I do like that they realized that it didn't work.
That it was a failed attempt,
yeah. And that second jersey, man, they introduced those powder blues. They have the same font on it, but that will be written in black on that jersey, Marlins as well. Love them both.
Yeah,
Love
like
them both. Big fan.
The blue ones are like the blue ones they had a couple years ago with the M logo on it, with the fish around it.
And I simply think that this is an upgrade on that design.
I agree. I mean, I would rather it say Marlins than just have like a pocket square logo on it.
Me personally, if I'm a Marlins fan, I'm pretty sure I'm getting my favorite player's jersey and that new black one next year.
Yeah, I do like the black one a lot. The Marlins uniforms are weird because I honestly don't think they should have ever changed from the teal and white. And
yeah.
That the original that they went with. They were the best.
And that original jersey change was one of the worst of all time. Going from the aqua and
with
black
the statue
that we really love, and then they changed into black, orange, green, yellow, and blue. all at once.
Yeah, they're such an odd team, man.
Yeah, they haven't, like we said with the Nationals here, they haven't really had a distinct logo or personality for the last decade, it feels like. So, I mean, yeah, we'll see what happens now. I kind of hope that they settle into this new this new black and teal and kind of pinkish red I like
Yeah,
that.
they should stick with this.
And before we do go, I will give a little credit to the Nationals because one of their new jerseys is a pullover, like the throwbacks, and I'm a big fan of that, but I don't actually like how the pullover looks, so
Yeah.
there's that.
The pullover style is cool, but the jerseys are bad.
Very
Nationals jerseys are really bad, in my opinion, and the Marlins jerseys are both hits. I like them both.
With how people reacted to those Nationals jerseys, don't be shocked if they change again next year. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening wherever you do. That was episode 73 of the 9 Frames podcast, and it is Monday, January 29th, 2024. I'm Bill Whalen.
And I've been Mike Whalen.
Be sure to catch us, as always, on YouTube at 9 Frames Podcast. Our Spotify is 9 Frames, and our X is at 9 Frames Pod. Please follow us on there, subscribe, like, comment, and share if you enjoy the show.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody who still listens to us. We know it's been a bit of a slow off-season so far. It's starting to pick up a little bit as we get closer, as you'd expect. I mean, we're almost in February. Pitchers and catchers are, what, 2-3 weeks at this point?
Yeah, we look to get into what can be and should be a very fun 2024 MLB season to cover, and hopefully we can get into some fun little videos for you guys coming up as well, some different stuff, not just covering the news, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content.